Peace and riches blessings. I am Michael B. Beckwith, the host of Take Back Your Mind. Peace and blessings, everyone. I am Michael B. Beckwith, and welcome to the new Take Back Your Mind podcast life question of the week. What does Take Back Your Mind mean? The mind at times is hijacked by the world of appearances, but there's also a real world of love and beauty and joy that's eternal. We want our mind to be flooded with that so that it becomes an avenue of awareness. That's what Take Back Your Mind means. Now, the response to the life question of the week has been so overwhelming that we have decided it's going to be its own weekly episode, dropping every Friday. Tune in, and I'll be answering your life question. This person's name is Akili. I have a brother named Akili. This is not him, my biological brother. Akili says, I practice yoga and recently became an instructor. My best friends since childhood told me they believe yoga is demonic and goes against God, and they could no longer hold the space for our friendship. Not only has this experience triggered feelings of hurt, abandonment, anger, grief, and confusion in me, it caused me to now question my own relationship with God. I know it's important not to take things personally, but it has been challenging for me to not internalize this and allow it to poison my mind and my spirit. I would love your wisdom and your advice on this. First of all, Akili, let me say congratulations on you becoming an instructor in yoga, which is an ancient and an ageless spiritual practice that prepares one for meditation. You probably already know this, that the asanas, the postures, the breath, is not only does it have a powerful positive effect on our health and our physicality, but it prepares us for meditation. As you go through the breath, as you go through the asanas, as you go through all that you go through in yoga, your body is now prepared to sit. So congratulations that you're now an instructor. What you're voicing here is something that's perennial in spiritual practice. When an individual makes a leap, when an individual grows, when an individual expands their consciousness, there are tremors in the force. Relationships change. People we thought would always be with us sometimes fall away because we're different. I know in my own spiritual awakening many years ago, I lost all of my friends. People thought I was crazy. So in your particular case, you're going through what many people go through when they take a step furthering their own spiritual growth, development, and unfoldment. So yes, it is right not to take it personally that your former friends have a very limited idea not only of yoga, but they have a limited idea of God. Because practicing asana is not going against God. Practicing asana or any spiritual practice. It could be qigong, it could be yoga, it could be tai chi, it could be any spiritual practice, regardless of what continent and what culture it comes from. If it is authentic, it doesn't go against God. It actually makes you more available to you receiving the blessings of God. So they have an interesting, limited viewpoint of yoga, and they have an interesting, limited viewpoint of God. Somewhere along the line, they must have been caught up in the delusion that God is some man in the sky. They probably call God He, and that doing yoga and not following perhaps a strict, traditional Christian practice is going to some kind of way offend God. First of all, we cannot offend God. You can't offend the ocean. You can't offend the mountaintop. You can't offend the earth, and you can't offend the presence that is everywhere in its fullness. that surrounds us and saturates us with its own being, we can't offend God because God does not have a limited perception by which to be offended. So your friends are a little spiritually immature. They're very limited in perception. I appreciate you're not taking it personally, and don't judge them either. Don't put them down. Just realize they are somewhere on their journey, and right now, where they are on their journey, they have a spiritual prejudice against that which is uncommon for them, that which is foreign to their limited experience, that which is outside of their present paradigm. They have a little prejudice against it. They'll grow out of it at some point. At some point, they may even come to you to up-level their spiritual practice. So don't let this experience, as you wrote here, it's allowed you, it's kind of poisoned your mind a little bit. You said something about a question your relationship with God. No. That which pulled you into the practice of yoga, that which pulled you, that's God. That's your higher self motivating you and pulling you into a greater expansion. So go back to that moment where you had the insight. That's the presence of God within you speaking to you. Now, the other thing you want to do is you want to bless your friends. They may be former friends right now. They may have placed you outside of their circle of love. They may have placed you outside of their heart circle, but you don't do the same. Don't place them outside of your heart. You may not be in communication with them. You may not be talking to them. You may not be texting with them. That's okay. Allow them still to be in your heart. So during these precious moments, you go into deep states of forgiveness where they are concerned, the hurtful things they may have said about you, the fact that they cut you out of their life. Forgive them. As their teacher said, I'm assuming they're Christian. They may not be, but I'm just assuming. I could be incorrect. But if they are, their teacher said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So you take on that practice. Forgive them. They don't know. They have no idea. You see. Hold a high watch, a high space. Go into your spiritual practice of yoga. It's going to carry you into rich insights and love and expanded awareness. I hope this serves you, and I hope it serves everyone who's listening who may be going through a similar experience. It may not be yoga. It might be meditation. It might be you're attending a New Thought, Ageless Wisdom spiritual community. You might be studying some mystical teachings and people are thinking you're a bit odd. Keep following your heart. Keep following your heart. And forgive all those who are railing against you so you don't get stuck in the muck of separation. Hey, thank you for joining me today. If you'd like to ask a question, please email me at podcast@michaelbeckwith.com. And you know what? Your question just might be featured. Have a beautiful and bright day.